All right. Okay. All right. Hey. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Oh man, what is going on? Time between my eyes this morning. It's raining. It's pouring. Hey everybody, good morning, Susan Nino. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Sorry, I actually started the live. I went past the time because that I was supposed to start because this morning I said, you know what? I was getting ready to head to work. It was pouring down rain. And I told him, you know what? Being on public transportation, everything else is no way. You know what I mean? I can't get drenched, stand. My bus in the last 2 days has had more delays than humanly possible. Just the point where I'm like, I'm just at a point and to a point in my life where it's like things that make it worse, I can't do it. You know what I mean? So when I'm be at work, hair all wet, you know what I mean? Hair all wet, clothes all wet, drenched, bra all wet. No, that's not gonna be. Book bag so drenched. If I have anything in it, it's gonna be wet. No. So anyway, so then I said, well, what am I gonna do? I'm sitting here and I'm looking out the window at the rain. I said, if it slowed down, then I go. But as long as it was still pouring down like it is right now, I'm not moving until it slows down. And if I pay for a cabs there and back, I might as well have not went anyway because I just took the money for it and paid it in cabs, or half of it, or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just doesn't make sense. But anyway, so today is 9/11, and I thought how man, no one will ever forget where they were that day, where they were at that time, what they were doing, what you was wearing, how it felt outside, how the skies was empty, how we watched people running through the streets of New York and these big clouds of smoke chasing them. The nation cried. We were down. But like we usually do, a lot of us came together. You loved your neighbor. Like on the pandemic. People came together. We had a lot of divide, but what you noticed was when people came together. But I'll never forget, and I'll never forget that the next month, Poetry.com was doing a contest. It wasn't even about September 11th, but it was a poetry contest, and they were saying, that the winner would, get their poem published, one of those little contests. And so I had told my mom, "Oh, I'm gonna do this contest, and this is the deadline when you have to turn it in." And finally, it ended up being the day of the deadline. And my dad said to me, today is the day you gotta have that thing in by like 10 p.m. And it was like 6:30. I was like, "Oh, okay." And at 8:30, because I once, and I'm much better at it than I was before, was such a procrastinator. I just, especially if I knew it was something I could do or it was something I felt was just easy to me, I just, I'm gonna wait to the last minute. I'm gonna wait right to bam, and then I'm gonna do it. That was me. So at like 8, I'm sitting around and I just wrote this poem. And I'm gonna say, in my mind, I threw it together, but it wasn't even about throwing it together. It was just how I felt at that moment. And I sent the poem in, and y'all, the poem got published. Now, the thing is, not even really caring back then when I was young. To me, that was just nothing, whatever. But every year since then, when I think of 9/11 and I think of that poem, I think of how the words of that poem was exactly how I felt. So I'm going to read you all this poem. excuse me, because so much concentration. So my eyes won't keep wandering back to the screen. I'm going to read you out this poem. This poem is called The Day is a Day We Could Never Forget. The day is a day we could never forget. The day is the day the Twin Towers were hit. The day is a day that will be marked down in history, but knowing the cause will always be a mystery. Many were deeply affected that day. As a matter of fact, the whole USA. As many would watch, they would cry as they prayed, hoping the images they saw would just fade. Just when we thought the terror had stopped, the third plane over the Pentagon would drop. First New York, then DC, two wonderful places, with the look of fear on all American faces. The day is a day we could never forget. The day is a day America was hit. For every person lost, may their souls rest in heaven. And for the rest of America, we will never forget 9/11. That's exactly how I felt. And I will never forget 9/11. I will never forget every person lost. I will never forget every fighter and firefighter and police officer. I will never forget how people came from different states, firefighters and police officers, to work together in a brotherhood that they had came together. I will never forget that a place I never thought America got its things, you know what I mean? Every place got its things. But I've never feared America. Never. But that was the first time it was fear on my own soil that I felt. I knew about Pearl Harbor, I didn't live it. I know how things they say it was when Vietnam happened and there were camps on the streets where they held people. I didn't live it. I lived 9/11. We'll live 9/11 forever because it was also a reminder how easy. Doesn't matter if we let it in, they let it, whoever. I don't care who we put a blame to. But all I know is it was a reminder that they'll come right in our front door. It was a reminder. It was a reminder that everything can change in the blink of an eye. Very sad. Hold on one second, Joel. Y'all know the phone only rings when you come on live. Something about it. But I had to take that call. I had to take that call. But yeah, so with 9/11, because I don't want to take this off of 9/11. So what I'm literally going to do today till I go to work, if I don't go to work, is first of all, it's Pajama Jam Sunday. And this is September to remember. And yesterday, I wasn't live. Yesterday was a real book. Like I said, I got to go with the day. I have to be a part of the day. But today I will go live several times. But this one is truly just a remembrance of the people and to let her know that for all of us, how this soil got touched and how it got rocked, we got to do better. We 21 years later. And it's like we waiting for something greater than that to happen here. Is that when we'll realize that what we have is better than what it could be? And 9/11 reminds me of, I think, a ground zero. I think of the images we saw. I think of Time Magazine having people jumping out of the building because that was easier. I think of the people who were on flights and they were just going home or going for a visit. So when I think of moments like this, I'm like, how could we even sit and be, I don't even know no more, but I just know that today I'm like, hey, I got a platform. It's no way I'm not going to come and give a moment to the moment that rocked my nation, rocked the world, rocked us, our world. Let me get up in here real quick and say some hellos, because I'm just a babbling. I am just a babbling. But you don't know how I get. Y'all already know. Oh, it's from my heart. look, look, front of my mouth is from my heart. Hold on, let me pull up. Let me see who's in the building. Hey, Martina. Hey, VT. Hey, sis. Hey, sis. Hey, Cooks with Love. What you making? What you making? On 9/11, what you making? Just being me. Hey, sis. How you doing? Hey, Tina. Like I said you again, that's twice, sis. Because I'm so happy to see her. Hey, Susan. Yeah, guys, like I said, so this was a little 9/11 tribute, respect, love. You know, it's hard not to be sad when you think of how we were rocked. And it's even harder not to be sad when, honestly, as an American citizen born on this soil, a taxpayer to this country, everything that I've been, nothing to, you know what I mean? Uh, I can't tell you that I really know we got an answer that it could never happen again or worse. And we 21 years later. So even when I think about worry, hey, Pow Pow. When I think about what's to worry about, I want to worry about the bigger future so we can have a future. The smaller things lead to the bigger things that destroy things. If you think that somebody just woke up one day and we had 9/11, then you thinking wrong. Things escalate at all times. So even when we on here and we think about 9/11 and what happened, you got to think on here like, do I want to have a day marked to me that became the big boom? I don't. Unless the big boom was powerful, like it helped people. It built a nation. It hugged a nation. It helped a nation. It held a nation while it was hurting. But other than that, I don't want to be no more parts of the downfall of it. Hey, Marianne. Hey, sis. I don't want to be a part of the downfall of it at all. It's hard enough knowing if you even feeling like you the downfall of a parent, of your friends, your family, your kids, anybody. So I couldn't imagine being the pain of my country. Even if people were saying I was. But that's a whole nother conversation because there's a lot of things to talk about today. But like I said, we just 9/11 right now. It's just 9/11. It's just 9/11. It's just a moment of love. It's just a moment of prayer. It's just a moment of compassion. It's just a moment of never forgetting those people. Not one of them, not one firefighter who said, I truly took something in me that said I would die trying to save your life. And they did that. They did that. Man, when I tell y'all that day rocked you so hard you just can't forget. I mean, you said, wait. Why is that building smoking? I don't know what's going on. And as you seen, I'm watching something else fly into another one. And then as I'm watching that in disbelief, I'm watching people run. I'm watching Giuliani talking, and he blocks away. And the next thing you know, I see a smoke cloud coming through the streets like a scary movie, like a horror movie that was real life. See, because that's the kind of horror movie that scared me. When Jason can get from Manhattan to Detroit in 5 seconds, that don't scare me. But I was like, oh my goodness. Then when we watching that, then oh my goodness, is that the Pentagon being hit? And I'm looking at it on a smaller screen, on my bigger screen. Sadness. Sadness. Then I think about, because it didn't end for us there, I think about all those troops and how some of our troops were gone so long, we had to pull for them back. Think about the ones we lost there too. We took a blow. And there's more than, y'all remember boys making the movies about it and stuff. So then you got all these conspiracies. Was it set up? Was it this? Was it that? I don't know. I don't know even know what to say. I can't even talk about it. I don't want to sound like I'm against it. I don't care what it was. At the end of the night, I know what it did. I know how it rocked us. I know how much we lost. I know how much we lost. And I know we came back stronger and we came back. I guess that's what we say. We came back stronger. But I will never forget every person. And even if we didn't know every name, you'll never forget. You just think about them. And I think about the ones that were never named. I think about how they had those places and people would come in and look for their family for weeks. That's all you saw on the news. And then I thought about them Victoria's days when they'd find somebody in the rubbish, but they'd still be alive. Oh my goodness, what a miracle. What a miracle. They still are there. I thought about how on that East Coast, how in New York is so strong to me. Kudos, I salute you, New York. Like I really, really do. Because when I think of the core of who hit that, who took a big blow like no other that day, I'm gonna have to say it's New York. And I'm not saying, oh, they had a greater pain than everybody else. No, that's not what I'm saying, y'all. Like I said, could you imagine you was looking out your window and could see it? Like I think about the Sears Tower out here. You could be all around. I'm all the way out here. You could still see this thing. So if something hit it, I could still see this thing. I didn't have to be right next door to it. I can't forget that day. There's no way that in 21 years since that day, it's no way September 11th comes and you don't think completely about that day. So today I wanted to give a little love before I did anything else. Because I wanted to make sure if I got into anything else, I didn't forget that. Because we don't forget it. It's a day that we will never forget. Is that my sister Heidi? Don't look my eyes for me. I ain't see it. I ain't see him. I told you I'd be running my mouth. I'll be running my mouth. Yes, all of the families, because there's people who are still, because, we'll talk about the losses of the people who we lost, and they're no longer here, and they are angels, they are our protectors out here. You know what I mean? Their life is not in vain. We're not going to let it be. But we forget to talk about the people who made it but had later effects. And it might not have been that day they were taken out, but there were other causes afterwards because of that. Because all that smoke, remember I was talking about when the buildings collapsed and all that smoke and debris and all this hit the air and hit the lungs. And there was a lot going on, baby. Oh, we got rocked. That's what's New York, a big city of dreams. Let me tell you. Oh, that's sweet. Today is National Grandparents' Day. Yeah, I think about that. I think about the people who, like right now, we're talking about all of the nation, everybody on the news here, there, they're going to talk about it and give recognition. Sorry, my throat itches. But we're talking about there's people who wake up and they're living it. They live it every day. Every day is a reminder of 9/11 until it leads right back to 9/11 because it's the day that they lost something, everything. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was definitely a day. Oh. So I had to come on here. I'm like, send out some love. What's going on? Oh, wow. Yeah, like I said, I've never been to New York. I've always wanted. It's so many things about New York I want to go for. Like I said, I got mad love, mad respect, and always have, always since I was a shorty for that concrete jungle for New York. I just love it. I don't know why I do. I do. I love it. I know it's rude. I know all those things, but I just got love for it. And I do. I do. I do. So I definitely, when I go there, I definitely want to go and give respect. And I know it'll be chilling and, I know it. I know. I know. But when I think, when if I ever went to Ground Zero like now, I would always think to myself, instead of it being like reminding me of the fear, the only piece would be is like, I don't know, even though it's a place that took so many people, to me, I don't know. I can't say, are they protected there? Are they there? Because I don't know spirits like that. So are they there and they're lost because they didn't? I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know. Because like the cemetery. So like when I go to the cemetery, I can be so sad about losing somebody. For some reason, when I go to the cemetery, though they're not there, there's a peace in this place. So that's what I mean. Like I always wonder if I go or will it just be chilling and eerie. But I definitely want to go to Ground Zero and give respect. You know, it's like one big memorial forever to me. That place. And to this day, to me, I think, and I'm not even from New York, like I think how it's weird when you see the skyline and there's no twin towers. I still think about those twin towers. I do to this day, 21 years later. I still remember what that skyline looked like. Remember the show Perfect Strangers? I remember I cannot stop thinking like it looks different. People say, well, sometimes it's like you forget. I never forget. You can't show me that. You can't show me New York skyline, and I'd be like, oh, something's missing. It's like if you took the Sears Tower. Sorry, my eyes are bothering me. But it's like if you took the Sears Tower out of our skyline and think I'm gonna be like, oh no, I don't notice it. Now I just look at the John Hancock. No, baby, I noticed. It's like when you live in a neighborhood, then they change it. But for some reason, every time you're there, your eyes still see what used to be there because that's all you know. Well, that happens to me at least. That happens to me all the time. If they change it, especially if they change it drastically, where it's like the hangers don't even look at the same place, my eyes still see the old stuff. Oh, the old store that used to be on the corner. I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. Hey, Just Doom. Hey, bruh. Where were you at just doing that thing? Okay. It's on your page? That's on your page now? I definitely go watch it. We're getting ready for work in Houston. Oh, wow. Right, because your sons are all, see, that's why I said it rocked us. The troops had to go. Oh, Oh, now do y'all remember they would have these videos in HBO? You remember HBO used to do those like specials, and they would cover different things. They had covered the skin. They did all kinds of different things. But they covered these soldiers. Then they came home like and surprised their families, and then some soldiers who didn't make it home. And what happened? It was really you would just watch the shows. Oh, those true. That's why I will not disassociate. I don't. Oh. I have so much respect for them. Because I mean, after that, there were so many people. I know a few people who, after 9/11, they signed up because of that. They signed up to fight for this country. So even when I used to do it myself, even when people would say, like, man, they're not even fighting for us, or they're not, yes, they are. Yes, they are. Imagine what this place would be without them. We think it's the jungle, we think it's bad. They put their life on the line for us. And like I said, there were people who jumped up. Now they didn't get drafted. They jumped up and they said, "Oh hell no, not while I'm breathing." You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Oh, I salute. Oh, I love the soldiers, the men, the women. I love them. I love." And then after September 11th, I promise you, commercials to join the Navy, the Marines, those came on all the time. And they show them, and you like, oh, look, I salute them. Look at them. Look how proud they are. Look at them. You go somewhere, you go by an airport, you see them moving around. You be in a Walmart, they come in. All that's just, oh, thank you, soldiers. Thank you. Thank you. Because I promise you, when I didn't look to none of them, I wasn't looking to nobody but the soldiers. They were my heroes. They were my heroes. Oh, remember they had the whole 52 cards. Hey, every time they was taking somebody, I was like, get them, soldiers. Anybody else was after, get them. They was racking them up. I said, well, American gang, they got a whole 52 cards. They done made a deck of cards of who they going. I said, get them. And anybody and whoever involved. And I feel it was some people what involved. We don't talk about that because, like I said, get them. Because see, when they give you to me, we start getting to any of the other stuff, you forget about the important stuff. So I ain't gonna get into none of the other stuff. We lost. This is America. It is for us, about us. You know what I mean? Ran by the people, it's for the people, it's us. So when something happens and it rock us, oh, we better all stand up. We better all do a little better. We better all have a better fight. We better stop thinking about the money because whatever, somebody said this last night, what if they turned out the lights on us, y'all? What is money if you can't go spend it because nothing's set up for you to spend it? You can't go swipe your card. You can't go get it at the bank. 9/11 reminded us the light, not up, but they didn't cut the lights off, but it could happen. Everything could change in the blink of an eye. And we weren't preparing to cover our own ass. So on 9/11, it's a lot of things I'll never forget. I'll never forget that to me in my whole lifetime, it'll never be the same here after what happened here. Because that just was a reminder to me, too. I will never forget every person affected, lost. And that includes me and every one of y'all in here on that day. I salute every fireman, police officer, EMT, everyone who came together, the people, the nation that came together on that day for each other. Like I said, I salute every soldier who signed up, who was signed up, who had to leave their family to not only fight for their family, but to fight for mine too. I thank them. I thank them. So on this day, uh, I wanted to give some praise and some love to the people. And Doom, tell me where this is I need to go. Is it on your page? Yep, they're burnt in your mind. You'll never, I don't need to watch any of them ever again. As soon as we start talking about them, they all just pop right back into your mind. Because there's a few things that have happened in my lifetime that had me just glued to the news nonstop, 24/7, just follow it. And this is one of them. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop watching world news and stuff to see what they were saying about it. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop reading every article. I couldn't stop checking every image and looking at how they. That's how you start hearing about all the after effects. It's just like when Katrina. But I'm not going to go to another tragedy to talk. This is 9/11. But yeah, 9/11. Those images always, always. I'll never forget it. We can never forget it. We will never forget it. That's right. You got soldiers too. Yes, yes. Hmm. Yeah, because that's the only thing that was in the air. Yes, just being me. I remember that. Remember how the day before you saw planes flying? Because planes always going through there. Not just in my city and everybody's city. It's always planes, 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 planes. Man, that day, y'all remember we weren't seeing nothing. And if you saw something, you knew it was the military. You knew it. And the sky was eerie how silent it was. It was eerie how silent it was. It was eerie how everybody was like, people was going to get their kids from school. People, I mean, because you didn't know. You didn't know who was next, what was next. You didn't know. Then we had some like random in between, like in those weeks, there were some like mall attacks. There was different things that went on, but that was so big that sometimes people were off on the the background noise. It's like they didn't notice that going on. I remember we were having a lot of drills here if something happened here. So I don't know. I think a lot of cities were doing that. They were doing drills, so you didn't know what was going on because they just do these drills like like a fire drill. And even the schools were like, "Hey, we gotta have drill just in case, just in case." That's why I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I will never forget it." Okay, I'll definitely be there though. Like I said, I was gonna go to work, but it's pouring down rain, and I take public transportation, so that was gonna be a no go. That was gonna be a no go. So I said, well, you know what? Since I'm not going in right now, it's Pajama Jammy Jam Sunday one. It's 9/11 too. And this is September to remember. So I was in the building. And I'm gonna be in the building a few times today. So like I said, right now my eye just started bothering me. But the 9/11 live, just so I kept it 9/11, I wanted to come in and talk about it. And then I'm going to end this live, but I will be back. I'm actually going to set a live for I think 12:30. And I'll be back. I'll be back. Cause then I can have my next topic. I got a few things I want I want to talk about today. But at 9/11, just like today, at 9:11 a.m., you know, stop and I pray about 9/11 or something for me, just to send a good vibe. Really, I just send good vibes. It's not even I stop and do a prayer. But I sing good vibes at 9:11 p.m. So I try my best to just for that second, because daily you're not. I'd love to tell you that daily I'm sitting here and remembering every single. You don't, because if you did, you'd be happy all day, every day. Um, but on the day of, I try to remember those and Pray for their families, pray for us all, but that's it. So I just came on today with my first live to give love to everyone for 9/11, to even my people that are still here, like all of us right now, to be better, to do better. Because here's the thing: if the outside coming for us, but the inside ain't together, what do we do under attack? Fight each other while they fighting us too. So this was my little 9/11 live. I'm gonna swing by rooms in a few and see what's going on, and I'm gonna come back at about 12:30 and do my first live stream for the day and talk about the week on YouTube. But all right, guys, I love you. Thanks for coming in. I hope everybody has a good day today. And do not forget to send all your love and energy to everyone. Just send it to the nation today. Because we all need it. We all need it. And some are going through right now so heavy they don't even want to think about what those people went through today because they're going through something so heavy. But today is a day to not just cry about them, but to send love and to talk about, to talk with each other. We all have some kind of feeling about that day. And I will see you guys at 12:30. Love you, everybody. And thanks, Susan. Oh, my eyes irking me so bad, y'all. Ugh.